And I want to say congratulations on 40 years. 40 years serving the city, this community is really incredible. And NeighborWorks is an important partner to the city.
Our mission is to create innovative housing solutions for underserved populations through strategic partnerships that contribute to building stronger communities. And if the last 40 years has taught us anything, as we look to the next 40 years, there's some exciting things yet to come.
In 1981, I was hired as the coordinator to just find a neighborhood that needed help, that had been not neglected, but deteriorating over time. Tim Hoagland took the program to City Council, and it wasn't too long before I married him. He served on all the committees, boards, he did it all. He taught me everything I know today. And we started in with just gonna do loans. And what we found is that people were kind of hesitant to take out loans. So we thought, what can we do? And so we came up with, at that point, Paint Your Heart Out. So the first year, I called the owner of a paint company. He said, all right, I'll give you paint for 8. And I thought, okay, we could do 8 houses. Well, he stopped taking my calls at 20. So that's kind of how it started. It just grew and grew and grew.
My wife passed away last September. The adjustment is just converting to being able to live by yourself. Well, I'd heard about the program and I was talking to my daughter about it, and the first thing I knew, she called and told me, hey, she says, I got you on the list. 35 years ago, I'd probably painted it myself. Life gets to the point sometimes to where you're just not able to do it.
When that time comes and someone needs a little helping hand, they're the great people that you gotta help out. And you know, when you're seeing a man in the golden years of his life and he's almost brought to tears, it warms the heart like you wouldn't believe.
One night I popped the question out of the blue to her, and when I said, you know, we ought to get married, she says, okay. And that's the last quick decision she ever made in her life. I don't know what that says about me. I think both of us picked the original paint color, let's put it that way.
We look at more than just what does painting the house do, but we also look to take care of the yards. You know, we have put on new roofs for people. And in one case back in 2008, we ended up raising the home and building a brand new home, completely based on donations from across our community.
You know, our slogan is in the community to serve, and NeighborWorks Boise just does that. They're the key that brings us all together and gives us the opportunity to be in the community to serve.
That's what we're all about at ICCU. That's what NeighborWorks is all about, and so I think it's a perfect partnership.
It's nice to spend a couple hours outside on a nice day and helping somebody else out, so it's a win-win for everybody.
You guys are sacrificing a lot, your own time with your families and stuff like that. And I really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Idaho Power has a long history of supporting seniors in Rankin Boise, but specifically for this year, we chose a special event to support our veteran seniors in honor of Veterans Day. And we asked for employee volunteers, and we wanted to do something in return for their service to our country. So thank you for providing that glue that brings us all together to serve others.
It's the stories. I mean, this last week we had a team that was raking a yard, and they said, well, let's just rake the yard next door. And little did they know that this family was struggling with cancer in their home, that the wife was blind, and that it was her birthday. Maybe to them felt kind of like, oh, we're just gonna be nice, try to help our neighbor, but was so impactful for that family to see and feel that the neighborhood or someone cared about them.
It's funny, a lot of people I don't think really understand the scale of everything that we do for the community, and even myself. I thought it was rake up Boise, paint the town, and just helping neighbors, which is great, but really being involved. I own a real estate company, and being involved in the real estate side of things, seeing the affordability change in our community drastically. It's something to be able to provide the financing, the homeowner education, for our apartment services and for our residents. I mean, it really goes way beyond rake up Boise and paint the town, and that's something that is exciting to be able to share with our community, that we have resources for people.
Many of the responses to our community, the programs that we have been what we're seeing the needs are at that time. A recent need for us, as we all experienced COVID in different ways, was keeping families housed.
I'm start open my business almost 1 year, and COVID-19 starts and broke everything. You have bill, you have life, you have responsibility. All this pressure. When I have news, email and call me, you're eligible for this program. I start with you this month. Paid my mortgage payment, and I'm live again. I'm start like a feeling when I'm half approved for coming in the United States. But after 7 months, I told them I'm good. My business start working, and I'm sure another people more need it in me now in this time. Let's save another people like what save my family. That's it.
A great memory for me is a gal that we helped in the City of Meridian's homeowner repair program. It was in the middle of the summer, and we provided her with a brand new air conditioning unit. And when I called one day to ask her how everything was doing, she was like, "Michael, I'm cooler than Elvis Presley right now." And that just like warmed my heart so much.
People are so appreciative of what we do, and the fact that we give people hope is the most important thing for me.
When I think about NeighborWorks Boise, I think about opportunity to be able to afford a house or a rental.
I think like so many of us, I still remember that experience of walking into the first house that my parents had found for us. After living in an apartment, we moved into a home that they worked really hard to afford and then to buy. You know, with the yard and the bedrooms that would soon be shared with siblings. And I often like remember just like the echoey sound of like walking in that front door the first time. It's so special.
Home is really cool. The amount of joy and relief that I have felt in this home has been so shocking to me. And when I walk into the door and it's like, yep, this is my place. And these are my cats. And this is my mess. In my early meetings, we did a debt assessment. They laid the groundwork for recovering from a big shakeup. There were several times where it didn't seem like it was gonna work out, but I did have I had a team of somebodies working on connecting to resources and programs. The people who work there are people from my community, which means a lot to me. When my loan was finalized, there was celebration, there were hugs. It was a really exciting thing to share with somebody that I'd worked with so long and so hard with.
And NeighborWorks Boise is one of those organizations that has a holistic approach. They're providing kind of those wraparound social services that help give people skills beyond just a roof over their heads.
I also like the fact that a number of our apartments have been rented to new Americans or refugees. At one point I was the property manager for NeighborWorks, and I remember signing a lease with a lady who signed her name with an X. And she was amazed that a 3-bedroom apartment was for herself and 5 children. She thought she would have 1 room. And I kind of followed her. I remember when her eldest son graduated from high school and went on to BSU. You know, working on living the American dream. NeighborWorks Boise was a part of that and helped make it happen. It's wonderful to see.
What I love about living in the Pocket neighborhood is just the community feel. You know, it's very intentional to build the homes facing inward. You know, we sit on our porch, we see our neighbors, we know everybody's name, everyone's face.
They do projector movie nights out in the grass. We did some ice cream socials, some pumpkin carvings this fall.
And it was amazing how easy it was just to gel as a community and get to know people who maybe had a different experience than you've had in your life. I think really value that. NeighborWorks just had a different feel from other builders. They were just so much more accessible. You know, when we were in the market for a house, we looked at a lot of different places, and there was just something special about this place. You know, the build quality, the layout, the open concept.
It's very efficient. The house is also plumbed for solar panel, which is awesome.
And we even got our loan through NeighborWorks, which was a fantastic experience, having worked with banks and other financial institutions on loans before. We didn't feel like we were just a number.
I was raised in a household where you volunteered and you cared about people that didn't have as much as we did, and we were very, very fortunate. But there wasn't a Christmas that we didn't adopt a family or try to make somebody's life better.
It can be really tough to save the money needed to buy a house, or even on a monthly basis to pay the rent to rent a house. And it's the partnership that you provide to our city and the service for our residents that helps make that possible. And we want to see that possible for so many more people.
Home is the foundation for success in life.
Homeownership is those opportunities to provide generational change or generational wealth that takes a family from a hopeless situation and provides some hope. And I love to be in the business of providing hope for families.
And now we're giving them hope because we maybe have grants or down payment assistance.
I tell everyone who's currently renting but want to be homeowners to reach out to NeighborWorks Boise, because it's no small miracle to make that transformation, and no one should have to do it alone.
Going to closing with them and having them get their home is just the best feeling ever. Before I start crying.
I make food with love. I'm doing something small for share with the people. I think that's the point.